Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive astrologer, and empowerment coach. And I'm here today with another installment of Pick an Angel card reading. What I've done is I've pulled 3 different angel card spreads, and you're going to pose a question to spirit and then allow your intuition to guide you as to whether reading 1, 2, or 3 will be most appropriate to the question you have posed. The first position, it's a 4-card spread. The first position represents the foundational aspect, literally the ground with which you're stepping out upon when you're asking the question. The second position represents the opportunity and or the obstacle. The third position represents the angel's advice for taking advantage of the opportunity or getting around the obstacle. And then the final position will represent the potential outcome of the situation. So let's jump right in with angel reading number 1. In the foundational position, we have the spider and we have Aurora saying you're flying high right now, which may threaten others, but don't descend because they will soon be inspired by your actions, your thoughts, your example. In the opportunity and or the obstacle, we have Chantal and the fear card. Chantal is our romance angel. In the angel's advice, we have the wasp and we have Bridget. The wasp represents stingy situations, and Bridget is asking you to look deeper into the situation. And in the final position, we have the risk card and Rosetta, which represents parenting, teaching, or guiding children. So this is what I want to say. The spider represents relationships for me. It always has. I've always seen the web as the fly gets into the web. It's in a cooperative, natural cycle relationship with the spider, giving it life and nourishing it. So I've always imagined that spider as a relationship card. And Aurora is saying that you have an opportunity within relationships, within your network, to break a box of thought. And this is a box of thought that will maybe create a little bit of challenge from others who will tell you that your thought process isn't viable, or the dynamic with which you are trying to endeavor is not viable. But in the opportunity, the obstacle, I see Chantal. She's the angel of romance. She talks about romance being imminent, either through reignited passion in an existing relationship or a new relationship will be offered. We are in a Mercury retrograde, so more than likely there could be the potential that a relationship from the past will revisit itself, or a new relationship may feel familiar. And I believe those of you that picked angel reading number 1, the fear card is representing face everything and rise, because in the angel's advice is the wasp and Bridget. And this is where you would be bringing in any old energies or old experiences that have felt uncomfortable, stingy, anger, make you angry, your nasty story in love. And it's time to look deeper into the situation and allow yourself the privilege of evolution past your previous experiences, because the angels are saying it's time to have a childlike innocence and risk a relationship, or risk the opportunity that is being offered to you, because the Aurora saying you're flying high right now is not about something that's happening to you. It's about something you've been calling forth and wanting to create. And if indeed you have been wanting a relationship and you've been saying to yourself, I really want a relationship, but I don't want somebody who lacks commitment. I don't want this. I don't want that. That's perfectly fine. Now it's your job not to bring that into the current situation, and to allow yourself the privilege of discovery. So if somebody shows up familiar in a negative way, it's your opportunity to look deeper into the situation, to give new life to the relationship and face whatever your fears are, to find out if they're actually true, or they're a ghost of Christmas past that you could potentially be bringing into the future. Because this is not about a guarantee. This is about a childlike innocence, but it's also about the inner knowing and risking that if you allow the inner, children know very quickly what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And we discount that because they lack quote unquote experience on the planet, but it's almost within that raw dynamic that the truth is set forth. So for those of you that picked angel reading number 1, if you are allowing yourself the privilege of endeavoring a new relationship, reviving an old relationship, or even just opening the door that you want a relationship, part of your job is not to bring your old story into the relationship and allow it to have new life. Allow yourself to erase the chalkboard, knowing there will be dust from previous writings on it, and yet let the newness sit forward, and to trust the inner knowing if for some reason the risk feels unworthy. All right, let's go on to angel reading number 2. In the foundational position, we have the joy card, and we have Isabella saying, yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectation. In the opportunity or the obstacle is the partnership card, and Vanessa, are you going to have faith or fear as you take your steps towards partnership? In the angel's advice, we have the disruption card, and we have Ray. Ray will talk about yoga and exercise on the face of the card, but for me, I've always seen her sitting in a meditative position where she's taking her power chakra, connecting it up through her third eye, and speaking to spirit with her heart. There's our voice chakra, throat chakra, and our heart chakra. And there's the disruption card. To me, the disruption will be about whether you have faith or fear. In the final position is Archangel Uriel and the movement card. Archangel Uriel represents frustration, represents anger, unforgiveness. So what this looks like for those of you that picked angel reading number 2, it looks to me like this is all about endeavoring things that make you feel more vital on this planet, feeling joy, feeling the experience of exhilaration, the experiences of life being worth living. And now is absolutely a time to do that. And if indeed you are looking for a partner, which this would indicate to me, it's time to have faith in that. And I have offered many of my clients and much of my audience the idea that we are rewriting the structures of this planet right now. And one of them is giving life to more seasoned people on the planet. A week from tomorrow, I will be 62 years old officially. And I've never been married, and I've never had children. And while I know I will not have children, I do expect that there is the potential for love and romance for me. And that I, as an individual, did not invite that experience in until this chapter of my life, because I think that's part of what the whole faith idea is that Vanessa offers, is to disrupt the idea that you aren't valuable, or that for some reason things aren't happening to you. There's a whole legion of souls that have reached a certain chapter in life that where their true service is coming, and it's through enjoyment, it's through experiencing the more enjoyable, fun, pleasurable, what appears to be frivolous energies, and make them valuable. Because I feel like Archangel Uriel has been dealing with your unforgiveness and your anger. And right now, I don't know if I even think this is even viable. I feel like for those of you that picked angel reading number 2, you understand a bit of your frustration and how it could potentially be blocking you, and you're willing to move past it because you're seeing the wisdom of stepping towards things that bring you more joy. And joy is not ever anything that happens to us, but the permissions that we give ourselves to be in the present moment to acknowledge the joy that surrounds us. All right, let's go on to angel reading number 3. In the foundational position, we have the birth and the rebirth card and Archangel Gabriel talking about our communications and about turning our insecurities over to her as we go through a rebirth. Our opportunity and our obstacle is again acknowledging that there is a new cycle starting for those of you that picked angel reading number 3, and that you're being protected from all types of harm. And I want to really kind of put forth more or less, because Archangel Uriel deals with insecurity. I feel like it's important for you to realize that this new birth that you have been experiencing, while some of it may be ripping away structures that have spawned fear or insecurity, there's a bigger picture going on. And I believe that you're being protected as you invite in a more viable experience. So in the angel's advice, we have the Queen and we have Indriel. The Queen represents feminine energies. It represents fertility for those of you that may be trying to get pregnant. It also represents reception of love, reception of material abundance, and the idea of the laws of attraction, but not about attracting something. Now we're talking about allowing it in, and how this is where you'll really be of service. Because for those of you that picked angel reading number 3, it's through the metamorphosis, the birth and the rebirth, and the connection to your own inner dialogue that you start to rewrite the story. It's a new skill that you don't really have practice at, but you are aware of it, and you're being protected as you practice receiving bounty that you want versus going into a dutiful action. I am an absolute believer of the be, do, have. Be is my belief, my disposition, my attitude as I go into my actions, the do, and the have is the manifestation thereof. So now is a time, in many ways, to check your ego about what you've known, to get closer to God, because the ego edges God out. And Opal is telling you that God is here. God is not only here to address your inner child, but also I'm really getting the feeling that this might have to do with people who want to bring a child into the world. And if indeed for some reason you've struggled with that, know that God is in charge of the timing of it, and so is the soul that will choose you as their parents. If for some reason you are beyond childbearing years, as I am, then this would be giving life to a more childlike dynamic versus the grown-up ego telling you that you must, make sure that you have all the things to block fear in place. You have, we want to start to really work through the rebirth of our communication. If your communication has been based on protecting yourself from something negative happening, then it's time to know that you are protected, and it's time to start to focus in on receiving this. And again, I can't help but go to anybody who may be of childbearing years that is either contemplating wanting to move into those markers of life, or have been swimming in that marker of life and struggled with it. I want to offer you that dynamic that the last few years, the astrological aspects have been very challenging. And these are indications when a soul incarnates, the birth chart is an indication of their life path. So if indeed you have not gotten pregnant, it could be because the soul is waiting for an easier time to come in. And that doesn't mean it's very far off. Okay, that's it for me for this week. Today is October 9th, 2021, and my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and astrologer and empowerment coach. If you'd like to book a reading with me or a private coaching session, my information is in the description below, and I'll be back soon with another installment of something. I don't know what it'll be. We'll see. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace out.